Hello, welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast, a podcast dedicated to all things holistic. I am your host, Cheryl Lee. Today's guest is Jeannette Donofrio, otherwise known as Ms.FitVegan. She has been a raw vegan for over 12 years. She is a coach that specializes in helping women, and her online private group, Misfit Mondays, is a platform that offers support and community for others who want to embrace this path. Today we sit down to discuss restricting too much on the diet, helping women overcome dysfunctional eating, the overfocus on detoxification and the consequences of that, movement, and so much more. Enjoy the show. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast. My name is Cheryl Lee, and I am your host today. Today's guest is Jeannette Donofrio, otherwise known as Ms.FitVegan. She's been a raw foodist for over 12 years. You are a coach that specializes in helping women, and your online private group, Misfit Mondays, is a platform that offers support and community to others that are wanting to get on this path. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So typically I love to just get started with a little bit of a backstory, your journey. How did you come to this kind of present moment right now in your life? You can be as shortened or as extended as you want to make that journey.
Okay, thank you. So I came to this lifestyle. We'll just talk about the raw food lifestyle real quick, because I was like a standard American and I was getting standard American diseases. Okay. So I had chronic fatigue, cystic acne. I was overweight. I had all types of backaches, eczema, just things that standard people get. Like everyone gets these things. I know plenty of people with IBS and constipation, and I had all the things. And I was really tired of suffering. And so I was trying everything. I was trying all the different diets. I went on Atkins because, this is a long time ago. So now it's, I guess, keto or paleo. But I went on Atkins. I went on the zone diet. I went on everything. I tried fasting. I tried all these things, and nothing worked, and I couldn't stick to it. Like, honestly, the reason why none of them worked, I have a feeling, is because I couldn't stick to them. Because I do know people heal on all types of diets, but like if you can't stick to the diet long enough to see the results, then it's not going to work. Totally. So in 2010, in 2010, I saw a movie called Food Inc. just randomly. I was staying home from work that day because I had really bad acne. I had a really bad breakout and I couldn't see, like the acne was above my eye and it was affecting. Yeah, it was really bad. Wow. So I stayed home. I saw on Oprah Food Inc. I watched the movie. Changed my life because I never knew that my food came from actual animals. Like I didn't know that real animals were involved. Like I knew I was eating chicken and fish, but I didn't know it was actual, I didn't know I didn't know the process. Yeah. I didn't know what was going on there when I had a steak. So I went vegetarian because I didn't know you could go vegan. I didn't know the word. This was in 2010. I didn't know that you could live without fish and dairy. So I just stopped eating meat and I was vegetarian for a year. And then I saw Earthlings in 2011. And at the same time, I was discovering about the raw food diet from David Wolf on YouTube and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going vegan. There's no options. I am not going to be a part of this animal cruelty industry. Yeah. Let me just try the raw food diet too, because I have the acne, I'm overweight, I'm dealing with all these health issues. Let me just try this. So I did, and I never looked back. It's been over 12 years now. I don't want to go back because I have so much energy. I don't have to worry about my skin. I don't have to worry about my weight. Yeah. I don't have to worry about backaches and just digestive issues and all the things that I used to worry about. So I love it. I eat a mostly fruit-based diet. Right before this, I was eating longans for lunch. Yeah, wow. And I eat mostly fruit. I eat something green every day. I don't stress about it. And I just try to do my best, eat the most natural way in an unnatural world. And it's working out for me pretty good and a lot of my clients. And I think the most important thing is that you stick to it long enough to see results. Anything in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a little nutshell, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think like, I've talked about it before where we just want things yesterday, and people in general are just so impatient, they just can't seem to, it's like, and then on to the next, on to the next. And then that's what I feel oftentimes gives these things a bad name, is because, well, it didn't work for me, but it's because you didn't have the patience or the fortitude to stick it out, which, and like you said, that goes for anything.
And let's talk about that for a second, because, when I went raw in 2011, I got very, very sick. I got very, very sick. After a month, I started having really bad mucus. So like I couldn't even say a sentence. I could not breathe. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was very constipated and I was raw and I was very confused. And it was like I had a really, really bad flu. So I had a headache and I had a temperature and, like I was just really low energy and I couldn't stop coughing and sneezing. And I tried all the natural things, echinacea, ginger shots, and turmeric. Nothing was helping. And then finally I got a colonic. And because I basically got really desperate and I was like, okay, fine, I'll try anything to stop coughing. The colonic helped me tremendously. And after that, I didn't, it took an hour. After the colonic, I stopped coughing.
Amazing.
And I felt totally fine. And it was like a dark cloud was over me and like it just passed. And, so that's another thing. When you're eating very, very healthy and you get detox symptoms, you get sick, you got to go through that.
Yeah.
You got to go through that to get back to health, because when we get sick, we're actually ridding our bodies of the toxins that are going to make us very sick in the future.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, and they don't know it. They don't know it, they don't realize it, or they just don't want to experience it. So they go back to eating crap, which stops the symptoms, which just puts the toxins deeper into the cells so that they will, manifest most likely in a deeper illness later, a more serious illness later. So I just want everyone to know that sometimes health looks like you're sick.
Yeah, it's like when that's happening, it's a good thing. I always tell people that's really like if you're getting a headache and you're feeling really shitty, that's like a really good thing. It means your body's like going into what it's supposed to do and cleaning house. And so, but unfortunately, that's often, like you said, the point where people like, say, okay, enough, it's making me sick. And it's unfortunate because it's really what the body is doing.
Especially where the mainstream will berate you for it. If you go to a doctor and you're sick, the doctor's like, okay, something's wrong. Oh, you're eating raw fruit and vegetables? Yeah, that's probably why. Okay, here, you need this prescription. You need to eat meat. You need to stop. You need to stop getting better. You know what I mean? Like on your own. I'm the professional. I'm going to give you something that's going to stop the healing crisis and push the toxins deeper into your cells so that they will unfortunately collect in your lymph nodes and, unfortunately might be a tumor later. Tumors don't form in a year or two. They form in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So that being said, a lot of like the haters online and a lot of the people that are against the raw food diet, they use this against the diet, saying that, if you're feeling shitty on the diet, it's the diet's fault. But no, it's the fault of the food you ate before the diet. If you were a raw vegan since birth, you would never be experiencing this. And people, they're never going to understand that. And you have to be okay with it. So to all the people watching this, you're going to feel tired or your acne is going to get worse or might have flu-like symptoms. I'd recommend a colonic to help that out. But please, this is not a sign that the diet is making you sick. Absolutely. This is not a sign that it's not working. It's going to work. Your species-specific food is going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amen to that.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
So I've also heard you talk. So your family history is quite significant. Like I guess your mother, your father, your grandmother, I think I heard you talk about your sister as well. Like, you're kind of stepping into this as a new version of like your family lineage, so to speak, in the way that you're showing up in your health, which is amazing. Like, was that a real eye opener for you? Obviously, when it was happening, I'm sure it was, but the more you've gone down this path to be able to kind of look back on the conditions of your family members and really see how the lifestyle and their diet choices contributed to, their conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you that don't know, my sister had a brain tumor. She passed away at 35. My mom had a heart attack. She passed away just a few months ago. My grandma had very bad diabetes. She passed away. My grandpa had prostate cancer. He passed away. My father, I never met him, so I don't know what he's doing, but I guarantee you he's not in good health. And then many, many other people in my family have had diseases and, are suffering or passed away before their time. So seeing my family suffering with, diabetes and obesity and cancer, I decided it was not going to be me. I grew up in the hospital because of my sister, and it was not going to be me. No matter what, I didn't care. I had to find a way to not be sick. And of course, the food industry makes it so difficult because all the food tastes so freaking good.
I know. Super
so
addictive.
It's like, it's, yeah, super addictive, and they don't make it easy for us. So like, I was in a cycle of just like trying to be eating healthy and then binging on all this really processed, unhealthy food, especially ice cream and chocolate and McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. And I just didn't know how to break free from it because I knew what to eat. I knew that fruit and vegetables and lean meats and stuff, whatever, they were the health foods. And then the processed foods were not good, but I didn't know how to break free. So it took me a long time, obviously till 26, but I was always on a quest since, very young to be healthy and to learn how to be healthy and not end up with tumors or diabetes or being obese and suffering like my family. It really affected me. And I think that's a part of my superpowers. Like all the things that have happened to us that are really, really bad, they become part of our superpowers. So it's a superpower of mine that I will never, ever touch processed foods ever again. It's been 12 years. I'll never do it because it's like, what I don't want to hurt myself and then allow myself to be in the position of dying early or suffering or being, stuck with needles all day and just in the hospital. Like, I don't know if you've experienced being in the hospital, but it's a horrible place.
It is a horrible place. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll do anything to not go back. I was there as a support system for my sister, but like I was still suffering. It's a horrible place to work, to be a patient at, or to be a visitor at. So I'll do anything to stay out of the hospital, including prioritizing my health and eating a raw food diet for the rest of my life.
Amazing. I love that story. Like it's very painful to go through that, but what an amazing, to be able to reflect upon that and then see yourself stepping into, like I said, this new version of your kind of family and what that was, so it's amazing. On your profile, you say that you help women. And I'm just wondering what made you decide to put your focus on women specifically?
Yes, good question. So I was helping everyone, but I learned that I could really help women because I am a woman. And I just feel like, men and women, we are slightly different in our thinking and in the way we approach food and our bodies and what we're told, about ourselves and our bodies. And I feel like, women have a difficult time with food. I know a lot of us are using food kind of the way that men use sex in many ways. And so like, I focus on women, but I do work with men because they're in my Misfit Mondays group. So if you're a guy and you'd like to join, you can. I have a few guys in there, but for the food addiction course that I do, it's only women. And actually, I don't know when this is going to come out, but my next course starts on Sunday, August 13th.
Okay.
If it's going to come out before then, if anybody's interested, you can send me an email. We'll leave the email below. And it's a 6 weeks intensive course for women only that have a food addiction, and specifically women that know what to do, but just can't seem to do it. Like, can't seem to stop self-sabotaging. And I know exactly what you're going through. I know exactly why you're doing this. And really, at the end of the day, it's because we're choosing to suffer because we think we deserve it. We're choosing to be overweight because we don't know that we deserve to be healthy and happy, and we deserve to be confident in our bodies. And we do have what it takes. And I'm going to convince you that you do. And 6 weeks is really intensive, but you'll never be the same. So if anybody's interested, check that out.
It's it always kind of circles back around to a self-worth piece, these different disorders. And I'm sure like just working with women, just even like one-on-one for you, I'm sure that you work with a lot of eating disorders. And that was one thing I wanted to talk about, like restriction, because oftentimes when you come into this lifestyle, you know, I often say sometimes, like, and I'm going to get into this with you as well, as like eating raw gourmet, for example, it can become almost a bit of a addiction like cooked food is, because we take our cooked food habits into the raw food space. And so with women, when you're working with these women, how do you kind of get them over the hurdle of this restriction piece of feeling like they have to count every calorie? Because when we're dealing with fruits and vegetables, they're already at such a low calorie. So I feel like oftentimes eating disorders in this lifestyle, especially if you're fruitarian based or you're trying to be, can cause some serious eating disorders like we just witnessed with the beautiful young girl that just passed.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say my condolences to her family and her friends.
Yeah.
And we really don't know what happened. You know, we don't know what happened with her. There's so many rumors. Which, you know, some people say she was on chemotherapy and radiation. Some people say she was on many different things. So we don't know. Clearly it looks like she was restricting, right? But either way, we don't know. So now I just want to clarify. Well, I don't work with women with eating disorders as far as anorexia and bulimia. If somebody seems like they have that, I'm not a specialist in that. So I will refer them to a specialist in that field.
Specializes in that.
Because I really love that you asked me this. Nobody's asked me this. And I want to clarify that because there has been women that have contacted me and they want to join my course or they want to get coaching from me and they want to learn how to lose weight and they clearly do not need to lose weight. So I will not be able to, I tell them, I'm sorry, I can't help you. There's nothing that I have that can help you. You know, you need help that has nothing to do with the recipes and the food, you know. It's you need mental help, right?
Some emotional support, some mental support. Yeah, for sure.
Correct. Yeah. And we all, trust me, we all have our issues, but the anorexia and bulimia, I am not a specialist in. So that's why I have an application. Okay. You fill out the application and I cannot help, unfortunately, but I do work with women that have disordered eating, which most of us do. Okay. And including binging and a food addiction. And I do that because that's what I overcame. You know, I never had bulimia or anorexia. So, and then I did have restrictive eating. I would count every calorie. I tried, but at the end of the night, I just binged. I couldn't go to sleep without eating. I was just addicted to food and I had binge eating disorder for sure. And so that's what I help women with. And how do we get away from that? Well, it has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with the food. You know, the food is addictive by nature, but at the end of the day, we don't know that we have the power to control what we eat and what we don't eat. You know, for people that are dealing with binging and food addiction, we have forgotten our power. We have forgotten who we are. We don't realize that we are in control and we can choose healthier things. And some people don't know what to do, but most people do.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people do know what to do. They just don't know how to do it. So I don't really, I spend, you know, a few hours on food and then the rest of the time is all about the internal battle that we're facing every day because there are two voices. Okay. It's the real you, and it's your inner roommate. And you are battling this liar. You're battling this person that has been saying false things to you for a very long time. Like, you can't do this. You're always going to be fat. You're always going to be lazy. You're not disciplined. You know, I'm not this, I'm not that. You know, the two most powerful words in the English language are I am.
Yeah.
So it's like, what comes after I am, whether you say it out loud or in your head. If you're saying I am a food addict, well, you're going to prove yourself right. If you're saying I am, you know, lazy, you're not going to get to the gym. You're not going to get outside and exercise. So we have to recognize the thoughts we're having, which have become beliefs, which are ruling our life and in charge of our habits and our actions that we're taking. And I do a lot of self-love, a lot of deep diving into the self-sabotaging, the mental beliefs that we have that are not true. And the the magical stuff happens after we like realize, yeah, that's actually not true. You know, I have accomplished things. I do have discipline. I can do this, and I'm going to have to prove myself right. You know, if you
Yeah.
want to be healthy, you just simply have to prove that you are a healthy person. You know, I believe that I'm healthy because every day I'm making choices. I'm proving, okay, well, I had fruit for breakfast. I had fruit for lunch, so I must be a raw vegan.
Yeah.
Like I'm just proving it. You know, if I went to McDonald's, I would be like, oh wow, I guess I'm not a raw vegan because there I have the proof.
Right. Exactly.
You know, somebody like, somebody like Drake, he believes that he's an amazing artist because he has the proof. Not only are people telling him he's an amazing artist, but he has all these #1 songs. He has all these ticket sales. And it's like, there could be somebody as talented or more talented than Drake, but they don't have the proof. So they don't know it. They don't believe it. So it's all about stacking up the proof that you are who you say you are. And if you want to be healthy, you know, listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm telling you, I had no discipline. I had no willpower. I could not control myself around food because that's what I believed. So we got to change the beliefs. And that's what we do in my course.
I love that. Yeah, words are powerful. Words are energy. You know, we have to remember that there's a lot of energy in the words. And, you know, like I'm a big believer in affirmations, like you just talked about, even like writing them down. But it's so like even the subconscious mind, right? It's retraining that subconscious mind to start moving in the direction of what you truly see yourself as, how you want to show up in the world, not how you were, you know, and getting stuck in that. So I love that you do that. I feel like also too, for women, you know, especially bringing in some disordered eating, binging, that type of thing, that's not, you know, onto the psychological aspects of like bulimia and anorexia. I think what my experience has been is that there's a huge focus on like an over focus on the detoxification, and that before you can embark on this kind of lifestyle, you must go and do a 40-day water fast. You must do 100 days on juice. You must do like all of these extremes as a way to almost, sometimes it feels like an initiation into the lifestyle. It comes across. Do you know what I mean? Like how do you feel about that? Like in terms of like somebody feeling like, because I think that can be a real deterrent of people feeling like, oh, unless I do this, then I'm going to come into the lifestyle and I'm not going to be like, it almost feels like there's that worthy superiority thing going on where, well, you can't enter the club unless you do the initiation of the water fast. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm not going to name any names.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of clients that come from these groups and these courses that they do with people that are making it mandatory to do a juice cleanse, a 40-day juice cleanse, or even a water fast. And I'm really against it. And I see that it doesn't work. I know it doesn't work because, you know, when you do a juice cleanse, okay, this is not even the most dangerous part, but let me just say, when you do a juice cleanse, you learn how to do a juice cleanse. You don't learn, you practice over and over every day for 40 days. You don't learn how to eat a healthy, sustainable, healthy vegan diet for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, in what way are we setting up people to succeed by having them do a juice cleanse? I don't really know. It seems to me that the only thing that is that makes sense out of that is to just like profit from people who are desperate to change their health.
Yes.
Again, not naming any names, but I'm really against it. I did a juice cleanse myself, many juice cleanses back in the day. I did a 35-day juice cleanse. It was one of the worst mistakes of my life because, well, I lost 20 pounds, which was great, right? Who doesn't want to lose weight? But over the next couple months, I gained 40 because as a raw vegan, that's as a raw vegan, okay? Because I have a lot of willpower now, you know, and I actually, you know, I have a lot of why power because, you know, like my family was very sick and I'm determined to be raw. So I stayed raw while most people would go back to processed foods. But even though I stayed raw, I gained 40 pounds in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stop eating. I couldn't stop the nuts, the dehydrated foods, all the things. So I think it's very dangerous physically because it always leads to overeating. Emotionally and mentally, very damaging for your self-esteem. I see it in my clients because they're like, I don't know what to do. I failed on day 32. I had to eat I had to eat, you know, I had to eat cantaloupe, and I feel so, I feel so bad. And I'm talking them down off the ledge, and I'm just like, I cannot believe that somebody convinced you that eating fruit, vegetables, nuts, or seeds is going to damage your health. You know, no, nobody's saying that juice is not healthy, but we're talking about, are we talking about like a long-term plan for being healthy? Then doing a juice cleanse is not it's not the way. I think juice cleanses should be reserved for people who are extremely sick, who are in severe pain, you know, where when they eat, they have severe pain. Okay. Then perhaps your body's saying, listen, I can't eat right now. I cannot deal with digesting food. Give me juice. Okay. So like, yeah. Or like after surgeries, perhaps where you can't chew. But I don't think we should be doing that. I think it's really messed up, and it's setting up a lot of people to fail. And I do not allow anyone to do a juice cleanse when they work with me. And if they try, then I refund their money. And I'm like, listen, this is, I'm sorry. It's not going to work. I can't work with you if you're not willing to learn how to be on a sustainable, healthy diet. You see, what isn't sustainable, it won't work. The juice cleanse, okay, sure, you might remove mucoid plaque, you might lose weight, but then when you start eating again, you're going to gain it right back and more. And, you know, if you start eating processed foods, you'll gain all that mucoid plaque back, which, by the way, most people do. Most people go on the juice cleanse, go back to eating the processed foods. What was the point?
So I guess
that's my thoughts.
And within that, then, I mean, somebody who could show up, maybe not be on a 100% raw food diet, for example, but then go ahead, do a juice cleanse 40, 50, 60 days, and then come out worse off than when they started, is what you're saying. Like it's a potential to really create more eating disordered behavior after doing something like that.
Absolutely. And it really fucks with your self-esteem too, because you're like, oh, I guess it's me. I don't have any willpower. I guess I'm not as amazing as my guru. You know, they can do it. Why can't I do it? And it's like, you have no idea what they're eating. You haven't, unless you live with someone, which is why I started doing a podcast with my best friend, because I live with my best friend. And she knows what I eat. She knows how crazy I am. But, you know, people, they don't know. They don't know what I eat. If you don't live with, I don't care what their name is on Instagram or YouTube.
It's
like,
true.
You don't know what I eat. Only my best friend, only the people that live with me know. So like, I just want everyone to know that the people that say they're doing these juice cleanses or say that they're raw, who even knows? And I just think it's so sad what is happening with those people, those amazing people that are signing up for this long-term juice cleanse when they don't need it. And by the way, you're right. It leads to very bad disordered eating, where you're just like, oh, I want to be clean. All right, let me go on a longer juice cleanse next time. Let me be clean as possible. And it's like, no, that's not healthy. That is not healthy.
I mean,
so thank you for that. Great question.
Because I think that, you know, in the attempt, or in the, what's the word I'm looking for, to become cleaner, to want to become detoxified, you can get on a hamster wheel of like, it's just, you know, every week, you know, maybe it starts out with every month, but I mean, I've been in that situation too.
Did you experience, I was just going to ask, did you experience that?
Yeah, I did. Like, I mean, I had some health stuff going on. So I did do a 21-day juice cleanse, but I experienced what you just talked about, because my goal was 30 days, but I felt in my body at like around day 19, I was like, this isn't really feeling good in my body anymore. But I pushed through another 2 days. And on day 21, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. But I did feel that sense of failure, even though I had just done 21 days. I was like, but my goal was 30. And I had to kind of talk myself out of that. Like, wow, I did amazing. I did 21 days. I feel better. And it's like, you know, but I think sometimes we just can get so caught up in what other people are doing and wanting to be like, we are our own individual selves. And I'm not you, you're not me, I'm not whoever it happens to be. And so it's like, everything has to be unique. And that's, you know, I love what you're talking about, working with individuals like one-on-one to find out, well, what's your unique like, what's your history? Like, what's your emotional stuff? Have you been through a lot of trauma in your life? Like, I mean, all of these things are going to be indicators of how you move through the diet portion of this kind of holistic lifestyle. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how irresponsible it is to do a one size fits all introduction to the raw food lifestyle. Like the way I eat, like I don't think everyone will be happy eating this way. I know for a fact there's some people that just don't want to eat as much fruit as I eat. They prefer savory. So some of my clients, they like to have a smoothie for breakfast, but then they have a big salad with like steamed potatoes and a savory dressing for lunch, and then pretty much the same thing for dinner. Or maybe it's with quinoa or like lentils, and they feel so good and they feel so much better than if they forced themselves to eat fruit all day.
Yeah. Like I'm going to be like Jeannette.
Sometimes I eat fruit for dinner too.
Yeah, totally.
That's why I don't that's why I don't do a lot of what I eat in a day videos, because I think they are so dumb. I get it for inspiration, but I just think that it don't make sense, because what is going to work well in my body might not be good for your body. And I would never recommend a one size fits all, especially a juice cleanse and a certain amount of days, because you knew it was over on day 19.
Yeah.
You knew you needed to eat. And like, oh, it just really makes me upset. And I get really mad sometimes. I talk about it on my podcast a lot because it just is so unfair. And it's just to sell a membership, to sell a course, to sell a restart. Like, what are we doing? We're hurting people's self-esteem and their health, and affecting them. So, I mean, we got to be careful what we claim, is the only way. If somebody's saying this is the only way, then for sure they're selling something.
And you should probably run for the hills.
The other way. You should run the other way.
Run the other way. Yeah, exactly. If anyone's claiming like this is the only way. So that kind of brings me into then people coming in, because like I just kind of briefly talked about the transition piece of people who are coming in. For example, maybe they're coming off the standard American diet. Maybe they're eating like a very processed vegan diet, because we can, carnivore, all of these different things can be done more in a whole way, holistic way. Others are going to be super like processed and all of these things. So using raw gourmet as transitioning, and what that looks like in the long term for people who want to, like, for example, they want to maybe go towards more of a hygienic way of eating, like more fresh, hydrating foods, for example. So how does that piece fit in your opinion, kind of the use of the dehydrator, these kind of gourmet type foods?
Yeah, another great question. Really great question. For the first 6 years, now remember, I've been doing this for 12 years. For the first 6, I had to do all the gourmet stuff. I had to, because I was so used to dense foods. I was used to animal products and cereal and cookies and cakes and pasta. Excuse me. So like I had to eat the raw vegan bread, like the wraps, and I had to eat the raw vegan Snickers bars and the raw vegan, like I ate a lot of takeout in New York, I got to tell you. So there was a raw vegan restaurant, and I used to get tostadas, tacos, burgers, everything, lasagna, cheesecake, and I had to do it. And I really recommend that no matter what you're craving, either find it or make a raw vegan version. I have so many people in my community that they're embarrassed or ashamed to tell me that they had cashews. And I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong, because I'm not explaining properly that there's levels to this lifestyle. And after, 10 years, my body's a little more sensitive, and I personally can't eat cashews anymore because they make me very like clogged. I can't really, breathe great the next day. I get very, very like bloated, and I don't feel great the next day. So that's me after a very long time. And I need to do a better job at explaining to people that in the beginning, without the cashews, without the sun-dried tomatoes, without the lots of like nuts and seeds and avocado, and I even did oil personally. I did it in the beginning, olive oil and like the dehydrated foods. Without that, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
like that's really important. So all those amazing things that like Raw Food Romance does, back in the day, I didn't do it because I didn't have time. Like I worked a very busy job and I didn't have time to use my dehydrator. but I would buy them. I would buy the wraps. I would buy the gourmet stuff. And so if you have time to make them, you should make those things, because those are the things that are going to keep you satisfied and keep you feeling like, okay, I'm not like craving anything. You know, she has like recipes for everything, the burgers and the fries and the wraps and the tacos. You can make everything. And if you don't have time for that, then find a raw vegan restaurant and satisfy that craving. Because otherwise, you're going to go back to the processed foods. You got to get over that hump. So yeah, that's a great question.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good answer too, because people want to know, you know, like they get caught up in this all, you know, there's just this purity, I guess, for lack of a better word, where, you know, it used to not be like that. Like my journey goes back 30 years ago when I first got into this. So I was in my
you look 30 years old. How is this possible?
I just turned 51. So it's like
not possible
in the day when I was in my 20s, I kind of got into this, you know, I got into hygiene and I went and I took the natural hygiene course. But back then, you know, it wasn't as, you know, there wasn't any of this stuff. There was no talk. You had to go to the books, you know, there was nothing. And so now I just love how there's more awareness and education around kind of making these types of choices. And so that you don't have to feel so pigeonholed into doing it one way, you know?
Yeah. And let me just say again, I forgot to say this, you know, so I go to the Woodstock Fruit Festival every year.
Yeah.
I help run it. And so I meet a lot of raw vegans, and there is a very bad purity mindset situation going on in this community that's very unhealthy. Excuse me. And so like, I just want to say that I try my very, very best to not really socialize with people that are judging me based on eating tahini or like cashews if I want, or like the people that are like so purist, I have to say, like, I can't really hang around them. And I do have some friends like this, but I can't really spend too much time with them because they're like, oh, you know, fat is really, really bad for the, like all fat, all fat, like avocados, coconut meat, like, and I'm just like, I don't think so. And they're just like, that's really bad. It's the cause of, you know, all diseases, and it's going to cause you really bad health issues. And I just don't think so. I don't personally think that any fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed is going to cause me diseases. I understand that fat is mucus forming, but like, I think there comes a point where we have to recognize that there are people eating McDonald's.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So
totally.
like, I cannot feel bad for eating an avocado. Like, are you kidding me? So I can't do it. And then I heard there was a guest at Woodstock that came up to me and she put in a complaint. And she said she was at a table eating, and everybody at the table was like, yeah, I don't eat any nuts. I don't eat any nuts. Nuts are like really, really bad for you. They're rancid, whatever. And she was like, oh, well, I eat, you know, walnuts sometimes or whatever. And they were like really judging her. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. So like, I really made it a point in the last few years, since helping with the festival, to try and help people like understand that like this is a place of no judgment.
Yes.
And this community is going to be ruined if we are judging people for eating walnuts. I mean, my God.
I know.
Like, what
put
in the
it
world
into perspective.
And so I'm very aware of that. And I don't actually want to get to, there was a time where I wanted to be super purist, but I don't want to do that anymore because I just think it's so limiting and it's not healthy for your mental health as well. So any fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed, I don't demonize it. I will eat it. And like I said, you know, cashews, I might have a little allergy to because I just really don't feel good the next day. But that's the only reason, you know, like it's not that
it's not like you're condemning.
It's just that I don't feel great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll eat them once in a while. I'm not going to feel great the next day. So I'm like, I really don't want to eat them. But every other nut and seed, every fruit and vegetable, every fat, every healthy fat, like I embrace because it's a health food. And if I get too crazy, then I'm not going to enjoy the diet. I'm not going to enjoy the lifestyle. And I might even go back to eating crap. So I'd rather eat healthy and just not be perfect.
Totally.
And not be a, you know, purist.
Yeah. Well, the perfection
and who wants to be around those people anyway?
I know. And the thing of it is also too, like, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that from judgment often comes shame, and people are carrying around a lot of trauma and shame, whether they're aware of it or not. That's what I talked about. Subconscious, not always consciously, subconsciously. And, and can be even ancestral. We carry around our ancestral trauma as well. So I'm really big on, like there's never a room for judgment, because you could be completely, by just even slightly indicating that, oh, you shouldn't eat a nut, that could spiral somebody into something that, for you on the outside, it may just be something superficial, but for that person, it could trigger them on their deepest level, that could really, really affect their, the trajectory of not only on the path of their raw food, maybe they're new, maybe they've been in it for a couple years. It would be enough to just completely take them off the path and just throw the towel in. And I don't think anyone's intention is to be the kind of the perpetrator of something like that. But I think we always have to be mindful of we don't know people and what they're going through and where they've come from, so it's very easy to cast judgment. But I always like to say there's judgment and there's discernment, and they're two very different things. So
yeah. There's a way. So true. So true. Our words hold so much weight.
Yeah.
Not with just ourselves, but somebody can take things the wrong way. And I'm sure that you have plenty of stories just like me where somebody said something and it affected us for life. And they don't even know that they said it.
Exactly.
But and then you just said something so good, which is like, there's a difference between discernment and like perfection
and judgment.
or judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I agree completely, because it's like, I am friends with people that don't eat just like me. Some people eat even more like picky than me, like, but they understand that it's like, it's their choice, and they're not, shaming me, and, like just judging me for eating the way I'm eating. And, so I cannot be around those people. And a lot of them are in the raw food community. So like, that's why I called myself Misfit Vegan, because I do want to get fit. I'm on my journey. But I also feel like a misfit, because I didn't fit in with anybody at Woodstock when I first went many years ago. I didn't fit in with anybody at these fruit lucks, at these potlucks, because they were all like talking about like, I remember one time I had tahini, but it was like from roasted sesame seeds, and somebody lost their shit.
Wow.
They lost their shit, and they were just like, I thought you were raw. I thought you said you, wow. They were like, I thought you said you were raw. So how long have you not been raw? Like, have you ever been raw?
Wow.
Like, what in the world?
And it leaves such a bad taste.
I was
right?
like, what in the world?
Yeah, it just really does.
The tahini is delicious, but that left a bad taste.
I know.
That comment.
I love that. I love that we talked about that, because I think it's really important, for anyone who's wanting to get into this kind of lifestyle and the amazing, beautiful lifestyle that it is, to have an open mind and to always just to have awareness. Like, I just think it takes a little bit of awareness of other people, so yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Last thing is to get through this, because I want to help people get through this, which is, never take advice from anyone that you don't want to trade places with.
Yeah.
So like the person that said that to me, I don't think she's in very good health. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was super, super skinny, which, no judgment to anyone who's naturally like that. But she was like eating, she was so like limiting on her diet.
Yeah.
Super, super skinny, and like didn't look very healthy. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to take it serious. I'm not going to take it to heart. I am raw. Yeah. Okay. I allow myself to like eat things that might not be considered raw, like tahini or maple syrup, but like, that's okay with me. So like, just go by that advice. Don't take advice from anyone you don't want to trade places with. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
I love that.
We digress.
Cool. Nope. That was definitely moving forward. I love it. So do you use, or you're an advocate for any type of supplementation for you personally, or do you advise that for your clients? Like superfoods, for example.
Yeah, I do advise
like chlorella, things like that.
Okay. So regarding supplements, I only advise it if you are deficient. So like a D3 or a B12, which some people say like, you should just take it. If you're vegan, you should just take B12.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I think you should be deficient in order to supplement. Now, as far as like chlorella or like, barley grass juice powder or spirulina, I don't think there's anything wrong with these things. I have them all in my cupboard, for the apocalypse. And,
yeah, right.
you know, I just,
Me too.
I have them all, and I work with Daily Green Boost, which is the barley grass juice powder that I like. I don't really take it too much. I do it when I like don't have anything green in the house. I prefer
Yeah.
spinach and kale and
Yeah.
fresh greens, but like I think they're good. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I definitely they have their place, and if you feel good doing it, then I recommend doing it. People always ask me for like caffeine replacements.
Yes.
And I would say spirulina and maca are two of the best ones. What would you recommend for caffeine?
For caffeine, I mean, geez, I mean, I
Like
just think
an
like
alternative.
like an alternative. Yeah. I mean, I think using some superfoods for sure. Like I do use spirulina. I'll put it in my smoothies.
Mm.
I'm not a big fan of maca for myself. It just doesn't really sit well in my stomach for whatever reason. But I just feel like,
Mm-hmm.
depending on whether you're a morning person or not, I mean, a lot of people now intermittent fast and they find that that takes a place, just they get that energy from not eating, just allowing the body to wake up and putting nothing in. So again, I think it kind of comes back to what works for you. What is your individual kind of calling in that sense, if your goal is
Yes.
to get off caffeine, then I mean, you can also weeding off, right? Like maybe it's not best to go cold turkey. If you're used to having a coffee every morning, maybe do a half a cup the next morning and then like a quarter of a cup and, just try to stave off those like caffeine withdrawal headaches, these types of things. It comes back
Yes.
to the person. Are you an all in or are you I'll put my foot in the water type of person, right? And kind of I'm an all in person. I'm just like I'm doing
Right.
it overnight, but not everybody's like that. So
Clearly me too. I'm an
yeah.
all-in person. It's like I'm 100% healthy or I'm off the rails. So I
Yeah.
decided in 2011 that I was going to try it for 30 days. And then I just said, you know what? This is really amazing. I don't want to go
Yeah.
back. I can eat as much as I want and it tastes good and it's
Yeah.
like healthy. There's no negative side effects and I'm losing weight and I'm clearing my skin and I can have nice cream anytime I want.
Yeah.
Fuck
Right.
it. I'll
Yeah.
I'll do this forever. So
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? I'm doing this. And maybe you don't want to say forever. Maybe you just want to say 6 weeks. Just give yourself some
Yeah.
time to feel the benefits. Give yourself
Yeah.
some time to experience how amazing this is. And don't restrict. That's the thing. If you restrict, like
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to stay with it. You
Yeah.
got to, if you're hungry, you got to eat and you got to find things you like not just like apples and oranges. You got to find recipes you like.
Yeah.
You got to find the fruit that's really, really good. Maybe you got to get to your local Asian market to find some like jackfruit or
Yes.
durian or longan so you can have something different. Because, like
Totally.
if you have the same thing all day, every day, multiple, they're going to get bored and they're going to feel
Absolutely.
deprived and like miserable.
Yeah. And
So that's
yeah,
important.
for sure. So I think it's coming up with different ideas. And there's so much out there now. I mean, I know you actually have a recipe book, don't you? Do you have
Yes,
like
you
an
can get it for
ebook?
free.
Yeah.
Yes, I have many, but there's one for free, which is at www.100freerecipes.com. And you can just download it instantly for free. It's 100 raw vegan recipes,
Wow.
no dehydrator required, 5 ingredients or less, and no
Oh, wow.
oil,
That's
no salt.
amazing.
And yeah, check it out.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
That's
100 free
amazing.
recipes.
And so just a little bit because you're Ms. Fit too. You're very fit. You're a very fit girl. I love it. Um, you look
I'm on
great.
my journey. I'm
Yeah,
not that
you
fit
look
yet,
great.
but
But
soon.
do you
Thank
incorporate, do you
you.
have like a daily kind of exercise routine that you like move the body every day, at least go for a walk? Like what does your kind of exercise routine look like?
Yes. So I have to move my body every day because I really want to.
Yeah.
I really, really want to. And even when I don't want to, I do it because I know that it helps me sleep better. It helps me feel better. It helps me make better decisions. Okay. So like if I didn't work out this morning, like I might cancel this interview because I might not be in a good mood. I might
Right.
be like, one decision affects all the rest. So
Yeah.
like every single morning I wake up, I go right to either hot yoga or I go on my bike and then I swim
Yeah.
and I walk on the beach.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something first thing in the morning, no matter what, because it just from there the whole day goes better.
Yeah.
I've experimented. I'm 38 now, so
Yeah.
I've
Wow.
done 38 years of experimenting
Yeah.
where like I know it don't work. If I don't exercise first thing in the morning, if I don't start my day right with taking care of that aspect of my physical and mental health, then the day's not going to go so great from there.
Totally.
And I'll also never going to have time after, like at night, and you're never going to have time for exercise unless, you're really disciplined and it works out for you. But me, every morning. And I love to swim. I love hot yoga. I do like to do weights. I work out with my women. So Misfit Mondays people and my food addiction course women. We work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Zoom. So we do a full body workout. I love it. Yep.
That's so cool.
And then of course, I love it. And of course, eating a raw vegan diet, you're carrying like heavy melons, you're carrying jackfruits and stuff. So
you're getting that like
so,
byproduct, right?
Honeydews.
I love it.
You're gonna be working. So So I have to move every single day. For my mental health too,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very important.
Absolutely. So tell us
digestion.
Digestion, all of it. Yeah. Cause if you're just sitting around and you're not moving the body, you're definitely, that's going to affect, your bowel movements. It's going to affect like your lymphatic system, all of that. Right. So super important. So tell us a little bit about your online community, like Misfit Mondays. Like, what is that? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I've been doing that for a few years now. And it's every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. We do a private Zoom. You can come or you can just watch the replay. And people come. I do a talk on a topic and I answer any questions that people have. So anything at all. And honestly, it's amazing because there's so many people in the room that know so much more than me. And so like we don't just get my opinion, or what I know. There's so many people that know so much. They've been raw longer than me.
Wow.
So it's really amazing. It's not just for raw people. It's like for anyone that wants to be healthier and wants to meet other healthy people.
Yeah.
One day a week, 1 day a month, we have a special guest. So my guests have included Ava Loves Raw, Eli Martyr from the Free Melon Society, Ann Osborne was my special guest last week. And she's been raw 33 years. Yep. I'm good friends with Anne, so I love her. So, and anybody that wants to join, we also have a private Facebook group where I post every single day what I'm eating, inspiration videos, people ask questions there as well. And you can check it out, misfitmondays.com.
Oh, that's great. I love that you have that support system for people because it's just so, we can get a lot of information by looking at people's posts or going to their YouTube, but like to have a community or a group where you can ask your specific questions where, things are available to you specifically. So I love that you do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I did it for me, Shirley. Like honestly, I did it for me because I don't know any raw vegans in real life. I have to tell you, like, I really don't. My friends, they're vegan, but like they're junk food vegans. So I don't really have people that I can ask questions to, like, what toothpaste do you use? Or like,
I know, right? It's true.
Like random questions that I want to know. Like, I'm trying to think, there was a question I really wanted to know. Oh yeah. Soaking nuts. Do you put them in the fridge? Like, or do you keep them outside? Like, I didn't really know the answer. And the truth is, like, so a lot of people say you should soak your nuts in the fridge, but like, we had a whole discussion on it because like there's so many people in the Zoom that knew so much more and have been doing it so much longer. So like I did it for me, honestly.
Wow.
Like I should join. Like I should have to pay join too because it is awesome.
That's so cool.
It's awesome. And I'm getting all this connection too.
That's great. Yeah, because it's so you have the community. It's your community, but yet you're learning and growing and evolving through your own community, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And last thing I'll say is it's a really nice feeling when you meet with people that aren't going to judge you and aren't going to ask you the stupid questions that you don't want to answer. Like, I don't want to answer, where do I get my protein? Like, I don't want to answer anymore. Like, are you sure that's not too much sugar? Like, it's been 12 years. So like,
can we move on to the next questions now, please?
But can we? But can we move on? Like, I don't want to have to answer, where do you get your B12, which I understand everybody wants to know because, we don't really know the whole like scope of B12. Okay. It's still kind of a mystery in many ways. But I just, there's questions that like, I'm just tired of answering, especially the protein thing. It's like, we've really, when are we going to move on in society? And I don't know, because apparently only 1% of the population is vegan. So apparently 99% of people still don't know.
Yeah.
So we're going to be answering it forever.
We're going to be answering forever. It's going to go down in the book of like raw veganism as the number one most frequently asked question. Yeah. And everyone, there's going to be like, so all of us answering it the exact same way. It's like, finally it'll catch on. So yeah, so I just have one more question. So I have a question that I ask all of my guests at the end of our interview. So I'm going to ask it to you now. And the question is, what is your authentic life print? What is your unique expression as Jeannette Donofrio in the world?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Well, I truly believe that I was born to inspire people to eat more fruit instead of dead animal body parts.
Okay.
I have a motto, which is eat fruit, be cute. I got to copyright that. I love it. So I truly know that I was born to inspire people, to introduce them to a healthier way of living. And yeah, I hope that I can inspire 1 billion people to go vegan within my lifetime. I do hope this. That's the goal. Beautiful. And one more thing. I don't know exactly how to answer this question, but I do want to leave behind a fruit cafe. So I do have this dream of opening, it's going to be called Fruit is Life, and it's going to be 100% fruit, fast fruit restaurant. Wow. Maybe a chain. And so that's something in my lifetime that I'd really, really like to manifest. Yeah, I was doing raw vegan restaurants in New York. I was running them, and I was, doing all the hiring and training and recipes. And so I have lots of experience with opening up restaurants. And I think that the world needs a chain of fast fruit restaurants. So I think that's part of Jeannette Donofrio's legacy. Amazing. Yes. I believe it. I believe it's going to happen for you. We'll see. Yeah, absolutely. Where are you located? I'm in Seattle. Processing a move, like hopefully in the near future, because it's just, when you're on this kind of a lifestyle, I think we just naturally want to be in a climate where we're around, fruit growing off the trees and getting our feet in the ground and all these things. And come down to Miami. Come down to Florida. We had some friends that just moved there. So, down in Florida. So I'm hoping that maybe like within the next few months to get down there would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know when you come down here. I will. I moved here three years ago. I was from New York. You love it? And, amazing. Just endless summer. And then if you love the heat, because I love the heat. I love the heat too. Here. I love it. Yeah. So do you it's like a free sauna every day. Was there a reason why you chose Miami? Of all the places in the world that is warm? Yeah. Good question. Well, I was thinking about California. I was thinking about Texas. I wasn't truly set on Miami until I came here by myself in 2019 or 2018. I came here for a vacation alone, 2018, and I just fell in love. And then I found out that the only place in the United States that grows coconuts is Hawaii and Florida. Oh, wow. And Puerto Rico. And Hawaii and Puerto Rico are kind of difficult for me to think about moving there. But Florida, I was like, oh, that's simple. And so in 2020, I did it right before the pandemic. Wow. And it's been amazing. And I feel and look better than I've ever felt and looked in my life. And I know we're not really supposed to say that in society. We're not supposed to say we look good. Why not? We're not supposed to. But you do. We're not supposed to say that. But I look better than I looked on a raw food diet in New York because I wasn't getting out in the sun. I wasn't getting into nature. I didn't have the high quality fruits that I have now, the coconut water that I drink every day. It makes a big difference being in nature and being where your food grows. So, I really am so grateful. I'm not saying I'm going to be here forever, but I'm going to be in a warm climate forever. That's for sure. I'm never going back to New York.
Yeah.
Never.
And I feel
Yeah.
you on that. I know as soon as I get to a warm climate, it'll be like, I'm not looking back at all forever. Yeah. But
You
yeah,
can't
it's
go
so
back.
cool. But thank you so much for coming on today. I really
you.
appreciate our conversation and I appreciate you. I think you're a beautiful presence and soul in this
Thank you.
community, and you're such an amazing inspiration and motivation to so many. I know that. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. And I want to have you on my show. So
I would love to
arrange that
come on your
because
show. Yeah, we can totally do it.
I need to know your secrets. Like,
okay.
what? That's not possible.
I have a story.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to,
yeah,
yes, I can't wait to hear it. So
okay.
I look forward to
connect.
that.
We'll connect. Thanks, Jeannette. Okay.
Thank you so much.